Hello, Broncos, and thank you for joining us again in the beautiful mountains of North Carolina. We are in the Smoky Mountains is what they're called. Do you know why they're called the Smoky Mountains? By the way, let me introduce my guest here. This is my mom. This is Mrs. Kendrick. A lot of you have met her before. She's come to help at school, and she is a retired second grade teacher and principal. So, would you mind telling us why are they so smoky all the time?
Well, there's so many clouds and fog in the mountains. They call them scud clouds, and they just hang real low in the mountains, and they look smoky, and that's how they got the name.
Well, very nice. So this week's theme is family, which worked out perfectly since I am with my mom for just a couple of days for Mother's Day, and I hope you did something special for your mom yesterday. I've got a little bear cub with me here. Is it a black bear or a brown bear that live in these parts?
They're black bears.
Black bears, and I have actually been able to see a bear cub, a mom and her two bear cubs, not on this visit, but on another visit, right on my mother's driveway, which was very neat. So my mom is going to read a story called The Troublesome Cub in the Smoky Mountains.
The Troublesome Cub. Words and pictures by Lisa Horseman. A hungry black bear parts branches in her way just after sunrise one fine sunny day. Not too far behind, a little bear cub makes mischief and mayhem and general hubbub. Both bears are hungry as breakfast time beckons. Cub chews one berry and then eats a second. Soon they find acorns upon which to feast, and roots and some insects, good food for a beast. Are you hearing anything interesting about the sound and rhythm of this book? The sun rises high in the late summer sky. Both bellies are full, now it's time for shut-eye. Or so Mother thought, but around her cub prances. A swat of Mum's paw puts a halt to his dances. Silly cub. Oh, they settle below a small grove of green trees. Soon all that's stirring are leaves in the breeze. Late afternoon shadows take over the sun. The golden air touches each bear one by one. Look at the mama and the baby. First a stir, then a wiggle. Now bear cub's awake. Wake up, wake up. He gives a mother a shake. With a sleepy black paw, she warns him away. So cub ambles off to frolic and play. You hear some rhyming words? I am. He scrambles along through the flowers and shrubs. A lot to explore for one small bear cub. Bees zip around him, there's honey nearby. They soon fly away to the darkening sky. Must almost be nighttime. The scent pulls him nearer, then close, until he feels dizzy with smell overdose. A green metal trash bin contains his great prize. Mountains of garbage all coated with flies. Cub takes a nosedive right into the pile and make greedy bear plans to stay there a while. Cellophane wrapping with food sticking to it. A fast food container. Cub ate right through it. So what if it's plastic? A bear doesn't know. Then he shouldn't eat fast food containers, although it smells like good eating, looks like a fine meal, and fills up his belly. It sure seems ideal. So he gorges on garbage and falls fast asleep inside the container, way down in the heat. Do you see him asleep down in the trash disposal container? A rumbling wakes him up right after sunrise, and he tossed in a truck, much to his surprise. Now this is an adventure he doesn't much care for. Every bump in the road makes him grunt and despair more. And the garbage he cherished so much at the start makes him sick to his stomach and heavy of heart. His mother's awake, and now in wringing her paws, she worries and wonders just what is the cause of her little son's wandering far from his home, away from park safety to places unknown. He's gone away from Mama, and Mama's so worried. Stuck in the darkness, Cub feels the truck stop, then sliding and tumbling and flippity-flop. The garbage bag folks hear him, and to their surprise, the garbage before them contains two bright eyes. Cub whirls in a panic while trailing decay and makes rotten food fly every which way. He runs through the doorway, leaps onto a beam, holds on for dear life, then lets out a scream. Trapped on the rafter, Cub sees with a frown he can't move a muscle and hangs upside down. Look at the people looking up at him. What is going on? Nobody knows what the next step is now. They know they must help him, but no one knows how. A ranger arrives, and with him a net. Rescuing Bear Cub may still happen yet. Poor little Bear Cub. He twirls the net all around his big hat. It circles around Bear Cub before he falls flat. There's no time to waste as Bear Cub still dangles. Cub's legs and the rafter must still be untangled. Into the rafters the park ranger crawls to save one small bear from a treacherous fall. He slowly and gently untwists Bear Cub's paw, and it looks like Bear Cub will be saved after all. Look at the little Bear Cub in the bag. He must be terrified. Where's my mama? The park ranger places Bear Cub in a cage to find out his blood type, his weight, and his age. He'll take Bear Cub back to the park service lab, where he'll check the cub's health with a poke and a jab. Bear Cub's not happy, but no need to fear. They'll send him back home once they've checked him out here. People's food sometimes make bears pretty sick. Their teeth can get rotten and sore awfully quick. So that rangers can track him in the mountains and holler, they circle his neck with a radio collar. All for the purpose of tracking his tracks, to check where he goes when he's snacking his snacks. Luckily, Bear Cub's okay through it all. A little shook up from his scary close call. He'd rather hang out with his mom in the woods. With humans he tends to be misunderstood. Finally, it's time to return to the wild. Time to unite the mother and child. The cage door is open. Here's freedom at last. Cub leaps into sunshine and wilderness fast. And so Bear Cub learned a hard lesson that day of not eating leftover human buffet. Yes, he learned his lesson. Have we learned one too? Or maybe it's something we already knew. Because it's our job to take care of the earth, since everything on it has some sort of worth. A good way to start is to not let the bears get our leftover burgers and chocolate eclairs. A hungry black bear parts branches in her way just before sunset one fine sunny day. Bear Cub runs toward her, so glad to be home, and into the woods they continue to roam. Oh, the baby bears reunited with Mama. Baby bear shouldn't have gone away from Mama. You're supposed to stay close. So, when I am in bear country, I promise to put all the trash and food scraps in bear-proof trash bins and close the lid tight. Store coolers and picnic baskets in the car at night and when not in use. Pick up litter and food scraps and never feed wild animals. Well, thank you, boys and girls, for letting me visit you. Go Broncos!
Well, thank you, Mom. And something neat to point out is that this is based on a true story. So this actually happened in a town not far from here. And the author took that story that she heard about on the news and made a little storybook out of it. That poor little bear, can you imagine being trapped in that big trash can? That would be so frightening. Well, I hope you guys had a wonderful day. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Go Broncos!